Just to give you a little bit of information, we have as well with us the Honorable Tiffany Thomas, as well as a city council member. Very excited about her efforts with housing and community development affairs, solid waste. She's just been very, very active as Council Member Plummer in a number of committees, working closely to make sure that we get capable MBEs and MWBEs in the system and doing business with the city. So Councilmember Thomas is the chair of the Housing and Community Affairs Committee, which oversees solid waste management, housing and community development, homeless initiatives, and veteran affairs. She is also the member of the following committees: Budget and Fiscal Affairs, Ethics, Elections and Council Government, Regulations and Neighborhood Affairs, and Public Safety and Homeland Security. After completing her degree at Sam Houston State University, she moved back home to District F. She served her neighbors in the district and the greater Houston area in a variety of ways over the years through volunteering and leading organizations that allowed her to sharpen her knowledge on issues that mattered, such as housing, public safety, workforce development, transportation, and education. In 2013, she tested her capacity to lead and ran for Alyce ISD trustee position 7 and won. She won, serving for 4 years with the best interests of the taxpayer, student, parent, and business in mind, of course. In addition to her service on council, she is a tenured development officer and is also the program coordinator and assistant professor of community development at Prairie View A&M University. Aaron? You ready? Okay. With that, Council Member Tiffany Thomas.
Good morning, everyone. Well, thank you for wading in the water with us as we figured out our technical issues. And unfortunately, my colleague who had to jump off, Dr. Plummer, you weren't able to hear her clearly, but she shared some good things. So one, I want to acknowledge her. I know she's in the middle of dental patients today, but I also want to acknowledge the executive leadership of this organization that's been hosting this discussion and really leading, pushing the narrative around minority procurement in the city of Houston for the last 30 years. And I also want to acknowledge the great leadership that you have before us. I'll make sure I minimize my comments because I can't get any better than Director Lisa Kent. You have Richard Vella, you have Lalla, you have Will Norwood, Miss Karen, and so forth. And they're going to be able to get in the weeds and the nitty gritty about how to do business with the city. And so as chair of housing, you know, I have to ring the bell about the tremendous work that we're doing around multifamily housing development, around our single family development, and particularly making sure that our COVID emergency purchases, and Jerry Adams can speak more to this as y'all throughout the day, what we made sure that we had minority participation even with those emergency relief dollars. And so one of the things that I want to charge you with as members of this organization, probably longstanding members, if you're new, be comfortable becoming the authority around procurement in this city. As an elected official that represents a portion of West Houston, that's Alyce, West Chase, Tanglewild, Piney Point, Westmont, and Briar Meadow, we have, our energies are focused on constituent services. I look to you to provide us with information on how we can better enhance our public policy, how we can make sure that our processes are streamlined. So I want to encourage you to take an active role, and not just in your membership, and really fully participate in the city. Call in at public comments and talk to us about our work and what we're doing, where we get it wrong, but also where we get it right. Oftentimes we hear a lot of criticism, but we don't have an opportunity to really hear from those small businesses, those minority businesses that were able to be successful in this system, to talk about some of those measures. I want to hear from you. I want to encourage you to master your data. What does the data say? Where is the data leading us? And how can we enhance some of our policies and processes in the city? Become a leader in that and start sharing that with council members, so we can make sure that we have, as my council member mentioned, a more equitable and fair city, particularly as we do our business. My office is always a resource for you. Please don't hesitate to reach out. My email is districtf@houstontx.gov. We answer the phones and the emails over here. So don't be afraid to reach out to us. However we can assist with navigating and helping you follow up with some of our leaders in the city around all of the ways that we do procurement. Please allow us to facilitate that relationship. Again, thank you for your commitment and service to not only your business, but to the city of Houston. And I look forward to hearing from you in the future. Thank you.
You're right on time. Again, with your comments, your energy, and I want you to know that we stand behind you and Councilmember Plummer in your efforts. Whatever you need from us, we're here to help and support you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for your great comments and, of course, your energy and enthusiasm. With that, we're fortunate today to have with us the City of Houston Office of Business Opportunity. And of course, they oversee a number of different things for the city, but the thing that always comes to mind is the certification work. As we need to be certified as MW, Minority and Women Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, then the city and OBO sort of kind of takes the lead role in those certification applications, making sure that we are certified to do business with those various departments that have goals that they have to meet, being part of the city. So, but among that, I mean, they work closely with all the various departments that you'll be hearing from, and certainly from the council members who have goals of their own, as you've heard from the two council members. So we're really, really excited about having with us today Lalla Morris. Lalla is the Assistant Director of the Houston Office of Business Opportunity. Lalla?
So good morning, everyone. As Milton said, my name is Lalla Morris, and I'm happy to be here with you this morning and to bring you greetings on behalf of Director Marsha Murray, who is the Director of the Office of Business Opportunity. OBO's mission is to cultivate a competitive and diverse economic environment in the city of Houston by promoting the success of small businesses and developing Houston's workforce, with a special emphasis on historically underutilized businesses and disenfranchised individuals. Our key objectives here at OBO are to educate, connect, and grow businesses. OBO is comprised of a number of different functions. As Milton mentioned, we administer the city's certification program. We also administer contract compliance monitoring functions citywide for all departments with the exception of the Houston Airport System and the Housing Department. Our office is also the program administrator for the city's Pay or Play program, and the city's Title VI coordinator is also housed in our department. Later on, I'll also talk to you about some of the external affairs programs that we administer, our workforce development programs and services offered by our Office of Business Opportunity Solutions Center. You'll hear from Will Norwood later, who is the division manager for the Houston Public Works OBO office. So we partner with them very closely, and we also partner with the Houston Airport Systems Office of Business Opportunity. So Milton mentioned that one of our core functions here at the Office of Business Opportunity is to administer the city's certification program. Our certification program builds the city's supplier diversity pipeline, and not just for the city of Houston as an entity, but for the region generally. We administer 4 local certifications, our MBE, WBE, SBE, and Persons with Disabilities Business Enterprise certifications. We also administer 2 federal certifications on behalf of the U.S. Department of Transportation. Those are our DBE and ACDBE certifications. In partnership with the state of Texas, the city of Houston is also able to process applications for the state's historically underutilized business program. And earlier this year, Mayor Turner signed an executive order which would recognize LGBT business enterprises. And those business enterprises are certified by the NGLCC. Finally, the Office of Business Opportunity houses the program administrator for the city's Hire Houston First Local Procurement Preference Program. This slide highlights the entities regionally that accept the City of Houston certification. It's important to note that our certification is provided free of charge, and so it's a highly sought after certification. Over the last year, we saw the number of applications that we received monthly double. The City of Houston's Contract Compliance Division, which I spoke about earlier, monitors the use of certified firms on contracts that have goals. And so we do that by monitoring utilization and advocating for certified firms, conducting commercially useful function audits and good faith efforts evaluations throughout the life of the contract, monitoring prevailing wage and fair labor standards laws, monitoring construction contracts to make sure that they're in full compliance with equal employment opportunity laws. And we do that on approximately 1,300 contracts valued at more than $8.7 billion. The Office of Business Opportunity also administers the Pay or Play program, which was created to level the playing field during the bid process for vendors. I spoke about the work that our external affairs team, and this slide provides an overview of the services that the external affairs team through our OBO Solution Center provides. We provide access to financial resources, business management counseling in partnership with SCORE, access to OBO notifications and programs, one-on-one business development that's provided by our business development manager. We provide weekly e-blasts that include information on various contracting opportunities, both with the City of Houston and regionally. We provide information on exporting resources and doing business internationally, and technical assistance for business owners that are looking to augment their business acumen. We also provide educational programming. Over the last year, we conducted an Access Granted webinar series for businesses that were affected by the pandemic, and we will be launching a workforce development focus series here in the next week. You can access these resources via our website. This slide highlights the various business development and capacity building programs that the Office of Business Opportunity administers. Build Up Houston and Accelerate Latinx, highlighted in the top left-hand corner, are 2 of our capacity building programs that we administer over the course of 7 months using a streetwise MBA curriculum administered by Interrise. Our Liftoff Houston Business Plan competition is administered in partnership with the Houston Public Library as well as Capital One, and awards $10,000 startup grants in 3 different product categories. Applications for Liftoff Houston are actually open now if you are interested in participating in that. Ascend Houston is a capacity building program that we participate in along with the Housing Department, a local CDFI, Houston Community College, and a financial coach. The Interagency Mentor Protege Program is a program facilitated in partnership with Houston Public Works and many local agencies partnering up-and-coming businesses with more established businesses with the hope that they will be successful in bidding on City of Houston projects. The Turner School of Construction Management is the result of a 20-year partnership with the Turner Construction Company. This also provides capacity building and business development support to businesses, helping them to scale and get out of their business so they can work on their business. Our Turnaround Houston program is a program started in 2016 where we offer job and resource fairs, providing job training, career coaching, and other wraparound resource services to individuals that are either unemployed or underemployed, looking to expand their capabilities. And our Turnaround Entrepreneurship Program is a program focused on re-entering individuals, so formerly incarcerated individuals that are looking to start their own business ventures. You'll see that we've highlighted the Houston Small Business Legal Consultations Program, which is a partnership with 20 local firms to provide 1-hour free telephonic consultations to business owners regarding a broad range of issues. This is a program that you can access via OBO's homepage. There's an intake form that's associated with it, and you should be partnered with someone at one of our participating law firms within 1 week. And then finally, you can also access the Resiliency Resource Hub from our homepage. That resource hub provides access to emergency financial resources, programmatic resources, as well as health resources to help you recover if that is a need, and then build resiliency long-term. Finally, OBO offers virtual and on-demand trainings. We've listed a couple of those workshops here. One of the most popular on-demand trainings that we've seen over the last year is our virtual pre-certification workshop that's accessible by going to our homepage and clicking certifications. Additionally, we have a weekly e-blast where we send out procurement opportunities and event opportunities, both virtual and in person, to provide you with opportunities to meet decision makers, meet people that you could potentially team with or subcontract work to, and grow and expand your business network. You'll also see a clip from Insights to Opportunity, which is OBO's quarterly newsletter here. And if you'd like to request information for getting on that e-blast list, definitely reach out to the Office of Business Opportunity, and we'd be happy to add you as one of the recipients of that list. Thank you so much. I'll turn it back over to Milton, and definitely stay on for the duration of this presentation so that you can access the valuable information that each department representative will be bringing.
Thank you, Milton, for inviting the General Services Department. My name again is Richard Vella. I'm the Assistant Director over Real Estate Design and Construction. We work hand in hand with OBO and other departments, like Milton said, the Health Department, Police, Fire. I'm going to turn to a slide, so bear with me to share my screen. So I hope this will work. Yes. Yes, perfect. Thank you. Great. So I'm going to be talking about with regard to what we do with GSD, who are we, how we do business here at GSD, talking about advertisements, talking about vendor requirements, procurement processes, and then the most interesting one I believe that you all look forward to is what projects are on the horizon. We do have 9 design projects that is going to be let out in the next 6 to 9 months, and we have 29 construction projects, a total of approximately $150 million worth of work. So this slide talks about who we are, what do. We do real estate, we do design, we do construction. We also take care of our buildings. We do property management, we do environmental, and also we have a security section in our division. What do we do as for capital projects? We do capital improvement planning. We do a lot of architectural and engineering project management. We also administer, together with the Houston Arts Alliance, the civic art. We do a lot of internal office management and furniture standards within the city. What's our mission? Our mission is planning, design, and construction of city facilities, including parks. We try and use the latest and greatest industry standards. We try the best we can to be very transparent and fair and equal. By saying that we are always open to getting better with our procurements, and when we have those when we receive statement of qualifications and we do selections, we also do debriefing so we can really be transparent and help our vendors, our consultants to understand how they can improve. On the right hand side, you'll see the Barbara Bush Literacy Plaza, and you'll be seeing a new picture on every slide that shows you ongoing projects. Most of these projects were in the hopper and design side last year, but now they're under construction. And if the weather continues down this path, they are going to be delayed. So hopefully we have better weather. Our next slide, it talks about project advertisements. We advertise on the Houston Business Journal, and we also advertise on our city website. So please look out for those projects on a constant basis. Every week there's something new. The picture we're showing here is the Northeast Quadrant building. This is a Houston Public Works building, very beautiful, designed by RDLR, and the contractor was Morganti. Our next slide is talking about requirements. As a consultant, as a contractor, what are the requirements? Again, we work hand in hand with OBO, so I appreciate that previous discussion of how to do business. But one of the main things we ask from our consultants, our contractors, is obviously being bondable and insurable. We also make sure that any property taxes are paid before we can go forward with any contract. Also, completing the supplier registration form to get a vendor number. Obviously, complying with the mayor's drug detection and deterrence procedures. And then the pay or play program, right? Very important that as a city, as vendors, as contractors, that we're adhering to this. And then insurance of indemnifications, proof of insurance, and then indemnification is a very important piece that legal always talks to us about. And then complying with the City of Houston Fair Campaigns Ordinance. Very important. It's good that we have this. On the right-hand side, you'll see a building that was completed 6 months ago. It's the Fertitta Tactical Training Center. It's a very beautiful facility where our HPD trains in synthetic situations. Our next slide talks about consultant contractors proposals, right? So this is the way we do our process works. We go out for an RFQ, request for qualifications. Then we receive them. So after reviewing the advertisement posted by General Services, firms and contractors can submit a proposal in order to get city works. They submit a SOQ, which is a statement of qualifications, or an RFQ, request for qualifications. So the SOQ stands for the statement of qualifications. And then what is an SOQ all about? It demonstrates a vendor's experience by showcasing past completed projects. And we emphasize that we might receive, 20 SOQs on a project, and the more it is readable, the more it is understandable and staying with what we've asked you, the better that SOQ is. So also another important fact is that it has to be submitted right before the deadline, and that's usually listed in our pre-submittal meeting and also on our website. On the left-hand side, you'll see a new project that we just broke ground a few weeks ago. It's for the Sunnyside Health and Multi-Service Center. This is a $25 million project. Should be completed by February, March of next year. The next slide talks about our project delivery methods, and we do a lot of these. So keep in mind that we do the design, bid, build method. We do competitive bid, where it's usually known as low bid. And this is non-schedule sensitive, right? It's the lowest responsive bidder determines the bid award. And then we have CSP, which is also another design bid build, but it has some qualifications or pre-qualifications in order for those contractors to bid. We utilize alternative delivery methods. This is the CMAR, the Construction Management at Risk. It is very complex and it works on GMPs. But this we utilize this when it's the schedule is sensitive, the project is difficult, and there might be a potential change project. So CMAR is very important, where we engage both the contractor and the architect at the same time for the city to get the best project. Another method we use is the design build, DB, which is multi-phase, but it is a single point of responsibility. That is, the contractor hires the architect and all the subs. And we use that for fast schedule delivery. And our last one is the job order contracting. This is, again, time sensitive, it's a multi-trade, and if it's usually done on minor construction repairs and renovations. On the right-hand side, you'll see a real picture of Herman Square Park pavers replacement. If you haven't been downtown, come downtown, you'll see a beautiful Bagby Street being almost complete, and Herman Square. It looks great, and there should be an opening coming in the next couple of months. Another item we want to go over is the process, the design procurement process for architects, engineers. So what are they? For an RFQ, we advertise, they submit SOQs, we evaluate and come up with a short list and interviews. This is based on the SOQ. We select a firm and we ensure there is compliance documents. We do a post-selection processes. We do a negotiation, and then we execute the contract. On the left-hand side is our $60 million Alyce Neighborhood Center. It's under construction. And this is a huge project in Alyce on a 38-acre site. As you can see, the rain has not helped us at all, but we're getting there. And these are the last two slides are the most interesting slides, I think, for this presentation, because what is coming down the pike, right? So we have approximately $22 million of design work. For example, City Hall renovation of the water system. It's a design build. We have municipal courts replacement. So municipal courts at 1400 Lubbock was received water and during Hurricane Harvey. So we're working hand in hand with FEMA, and we're hopefully coming up with some agreement in the next few months, maybe within 6 months, to see if we can demo it and rebuild municipal courts, ground up construction, either in the same location or a different location. But that alone, design fee is a $10 million design fee. Fire Station 104 replacement. This also was affected during Harvey, and it's going to be a CMAR, and the design fee on that would be around the $1.3 million. We're doing some work at Riesner Restoration, again Harvey related. Vincent Library Tech Link, we are doing a renovation to convert part of that facility into a Tech Link HPL facility. And then we have the last two are task order contracts. One of them is for civil engineering, and you can see it's a $2 million 5-year contract. And then the last one, when it comes to professional services, is another $2 million project for structural engineering. Our last slide deals with actually construction. We have approximately 29 projects, and it's around $126 million worth of work. I would highlight some of the big ones, right? So I would talk about municipal courts. Again, you can see here it's 89 million in construction. Again, it's a sizable project. We hope it's going to get funded and move forward. At the Houston Emergency Center, we are replacing the roof. That's a $2.8 million project. 104, just construction with CMAR for a new fire station is going to be upwards of $10 million. We're doing some mitigation work through Harvey on the police headquarters envelope, the one at 1200 Travis, and that's around $2 million. And then we're doing a lot of Harvey work also on the African American Library, around $2.6 million. It's pretty much all the envelope around there. And then for our parks, we are doing around 8 projects, and you can see them. They all go from a pavilion of $600,000+ to a tiger trail, which is $5 million. We do also have a job order contract for HVAC for parks, and that's going to be approximately $10 million. I hope I went over all the procurements and projects. I'll be more than happy to send the list of projects to the organization. Thank you so much. I will now turn it over back to Milton. Thank you.
Richard, outstanding. I can't say enough. There are so many opportunities. I mean, with all the city buildings, you are on top of it. And yes, we would love to receive a copy. If you would just send it to me, I'll get it to others, to Abel. I see Abel I saw him on the call with a thumbs up. Outstanding when it comes to construction and all the great opportunities with the city of Houston. So we thank you so much, man, for that. You outdid yourself from last year. With that, guys, when we first started, we had a little bit of issue with feedback, and it happened. It's never a good time, of course. But working closely with MCA Communications, as I've had over the last over 20 years, they always find a solution. So I think we're back on track. And as we got back on track, Councilmember Plummer called me and said, Milton, I've got to finish what I started. I've got some important information, and I know she does, and I understand her passion. So with that, she's come right back on. And guys, so we're going to take a quick break and bring Councilmember Plummer back. I know she's on her way to City Hall right now. So with that, Councilmember Plummer, we thank you, and please talk to us.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thibodeau. Can everyone hear me okay? Awesome. Yes, all right. Thank you so much. And, you know, it's been interesting navigating through this virtual world. So we all understand, and we're so grateful for the information that you brought already. I know a lot of people have spoken already, our directors of our departments, and they're so well, it's just so much a wealth of information for all of you. I'm your council member, Letitia Plummer. I'm your at-large member, which means I'm pretty much over the whole entire city of Houston. As I bring that to you, I bring, you know, greetings from the city of Houston, but I'm also a business owner, 20 years on entrepreneurship. So I get it. I understand how difficult it is to find equitable opportunities within the city. And so I'm an ally and a partner with all of you. You know, OBO spoke, you've heard what they've said. We are, you know, we're partners with them. We are incredibly pleased that they have programs in place that not only look at guidelines and maintain guidelines for minority involvement within the city of Houston, but also holding, you know, from an accountability accountability perspective as well. And so, you know, as your council member, when we vote on items and we see those contracts come over our desk, we've got 3 things in my mind that are our responsibilities as your elected officials. One, to make sure that we're an ally and a liaison between what happens with OBO and your business, making sure you have the information, that we're supporting you in making sure that you can be involved in the economics of Houston. And then also ensuring that our primes are held accountable, making, you know, looking at those minority you know, involvements and percentages, and ensuring that those percentages look good. And then following up and assisting OBO with compliance. And so our goal as your members is to work for you. We're here for you. That is our job. That's why we were elected. As a business owner, I just understand how difficult not only COVID has been on top of the normal difficulties that we've experienced, but we're an open book. We want to assist. I know that minority businesses have difficulties in bonding and licensing and just having access to resources. As a woman minority business owner, I get it. We are the lowest of the totem pole in terms of, you know, accessing capital to make sure that we're able to thrive and be competitive. And so our goal for the city of Houston, for OBO, for my office, is to ensure that not only do you start in as a sub, but we move you up to that prime space. So what does that look like? You know, how can we assist you in doing that? And those are the things and the feedback that we need from you as minority contractors to ensure that we're doing our job in helping you not just start where you are, but really grow and be able to be a larger piece of this huge economic you know, advancement and an opportunity here in the city of Houston. So Mr. Thibodeau, thank you so much. Thank you to all the members of the Greater Houston Business Procurement Forum. This is 30 years running. This organization is supporting you. And so I'm so grateful you, Mr. Thibodeau, to kind of move to virtual space so that so business as usual can happen in the city of Houston. And I want to acknowledge our elected officials, all of our directors. We could not live or thrive without you. So thank you for always being ingenious and always being available to us as council members to listen to us and make sure we can implement what's necessary for the city of Houston to continue. But listen, our goals are the same. We're advocates for opportunity. And so whatever I can do as your at-large forum member, I'm an open book. You can always reach me at atlarge4@houstontx.gov. And Mr. Thibodeau, I am so forever grateful for all the work that you do and in making and ensuring that equity and opportunity is constantly a part of our minority businesses. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, outstanding council member, and thank you for staying with us. We really, really appreciate it. Know everything you said you mean sincerely, and we're going to continue to work with you in any effort that you need us to. And you know that the forum is always available to you and certainly Council Member Thomas. In fact, as I mentioned Council Member Thomas, we now have the City of Houston Housing and Community Development. So with that, Karen Franklin.
Thank you, Milton. I hope you guys are able to hear me okay and see the presentation.
We are.
Let's go ahead and get started. So first, I bring you greetings on behalf of our director, Tom McCaslin. Today, we're going to continue the conversation and in our space in how to be a part of economic opportunities on housing projects. First, I want to talk about our division contacts. Mr. Keith Bynum is our deputy director for the department. I'm in the contract compliance division, so everything you're going to be hearing is coming from that space, led by Crystal Boyce, our division manager. I want to give a shout out to my colleague who's on this webinar, Tisha Coleman. And with our programming, when you talk about housing and community development, so you hear so much that we are that driver for building a more equitable city. So we really want you to understand more granularly who we are and what that looks like. Take a listen.
wondering, what exactly is the job of the Community Development Department? As one of the fastest growing cities in the United States is adding people and opportunities every day, but we need to make sure that we're growing together. The department works to create housing opportunities we can afford in the communities that matter. For a lot of our downtown workforce, working on keeping affordability close by with multifamily developments like the new apartment homes. For communities that have students here, we're stopping families from leaving because of rising housing prices. Building new homes in Houston's complete community, repairing homes that have been damaged by wear. We want our residents to have a safe place to live with their family. But community is about the roof over your head. We also sponsor branches, community centers, libraries. We support the great work of organizations, CDC and Coalition for the Homeless, which provide residents the services that will improve their lives. We envision a Houston where everyone has an affordable home in a community that thrives. For more information, please call 32394-62 with us on your favorite online platform.
So with the Housing and Community Development Department, you were able to just see how we touch the entire community at every area. And it starts as we participate today in community involvement. It is the vehicle that brings positive, measurable change to the lives of small businesses and our communities as a whole. We know you're going to gain resources, contact, and direct opportunities that will benefit your business and our community as a whole. It's important to know that in the contract compliance space, there are project activities that trigger our contract compliance. And they speak not only in the construction space, we also have goods and services, talked about earlier from Councilmember Thomas, single family or multifamily, but that too includes public facilities, infrastructure, public services, as well as professional services. So we touch the complete spectrum. So let's talk about what that vehicle is and how you are able to benefit. So we not only drive those federal dollars from entitlement and disaster dollars, but also we do drive a federal certification called Section 3. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. But we want you to know that the Section 3 program and opportunities are measurable benefits from someone that you know personally, Argentina James. She had a testimony we're not going to hear today, but she is, in her company, Hilde, is an example, as they are a Section 3 small business defined as a business concern. So you're asking yourself, what is this Section 3 program? It is a federal program. It is a part of the Housing and Urban Development Act of 1968. And clearly it's defined to the greatest extent feasible to bring forth employment and economic opportunities. Now, mind you, in government, it's always looking at how we can reach the most constituents that are directed for low and very low income persons. Of course, we talk about Section 3. It is an instrument used to achieve the goal of what we, as spoken earlier, positive, measurable changes within our community. And of course, within government, you do have those code of federal regulations that stipulates where those regulations are captured. So within the Section 3 program, we talk about the benefits. It is for us to enhance the utilization of you, bring you to the table and help you be a part of our opportunities while forging those direct economic benefits, as well as it ensures that it engages you and informs. A unique position with Section 3, it ensures preference. So not only that you are sought after, but if you are aligned with another small business that doesn't have Section 3 certification, the regulations look to bring you to the table. And that's a very key aspect to consider. Now, one thing we always want to make sure you understand, to be a part of our programs and projects, you don't have to be certified, but it is a huge advantage in actually being certified. So you want to talk and take a look before you at the slide is where are those dollars? So we look at in our June projections, as far as we're looking at our single family new home development, as well as our multifamily. So just as a glance, when we talk about the multifamily, that's the purple. We're forecasted to spend, our forecast spend through June is $94 million. For the single family, it's $63 million. And then you're looking at, for single family new home development, it's the $22 million. So there is significant work that's available, and some of it has already been talked about. Milton referenced Timanoff. It's one of the multifamily projects. So what I'm going to do on these next slides is share with you about the projects that are underway, then talk a little bit more specifically in details about the Section 3 program, and then of course affirm to you the importance of following up with this. But here is some of the projects. The Timanoff and all of our projects you find is how we're able to bring forth the community together, not only from a construction arm, but equally with services. So it talks about the type of services the Timanoff project from District D will embody once it is completed with the construction. Also, the Timanoff project and all of our projects don't just come from one measure of funding. Here's a glance and a snapshot of those dollars that are spent and who those funding partners are that is making the Timanoff project be a reality, become a reality. And you're looking at before you, that's $33 million for our Timanoff project. Then we have upcoming for District B, the Summit at Renaissance Park. Another layered project that is forecasted and estimated at a $74 million project. Here's a few others. The South Rice Village in District J, which is under construction. The Scott Street Senior Loss Project, another multifamily project designated for District D. Avenue J, District H, which is another multifamily project. So from those projects that you saw, both primarily from our multifamily projects, we are in business, and the city too is open for business. There's projects before you that talks about our project, not only as we completed one project for the multifamily program area, but we also have 17 multifamily projects that are underway, and those projects aren't just underway and are closed. Those projects are seeking small businesses and vendors and suppliers to participate in the utilization that is needed for the scope of services for these projects, included within our public facilities. As it references, 3 projects have been completed for public facilities, yet 9 projects are underway for the construction in the public facilities. So in front before you is giving you a funding gauge of spending areas up through April from our public services, multifamily, single family, public facilities, and then it talks of admin and other dollars that have gone to other city departments. So we are aggressively engaged with construction, and as a city entity driving federal dollars, it's paramount that we drive compliance, and a compliance arm that we are required to drive is the Section 3 program. That's driven from either a Section 3 worker, which we're getting ready to talk about, as well as a Section 3 business. So just a quick snapshot of becoming a Section 3 worker, and I too will make sure Milton has our slide information to share with the attendees here today. But it's ensuring that a Section 3 worker falls within one of the categories listed. And mind you, again, it is directed from an individual that falls within the HUD low to very low income limits, which the chart is listed before you, which is found on our website. And the income limits is defined and put out for us agencies every May or June. So oftentimes we find that the HUD income limits goes up. The aspect of becoming a Section 3 worker is very simple. It's 2 documents are required: proof of occupancy and proof of proof of who you are, your ID, proof of ID, and proof of occupancy. And that information is emailed to us at the noted email listed below. Now, in terms of business, such as many of you are, you're asking yourself, how do I become Section 3 certified to be a part of those projects that were displayed? We do have the system, which is done through the BTG Now system, where you're able to complete your Section 3 system online. And within the Section 3 system, we have a checklist in the Section 3 management system, so you can ensure you collect your documents. The interesting and fortunate piece of your certification, whether it be a residence and the business, it takes 7 to 14 business days to complete your Section 3 certification. We realize it's a far cry, time-wise, shorter than some business certifications that are available. But just quickly, for those that are seeking to become Section 3 certified, there's 3 eligible categories that are listed before you, and we would work with the businesses in helping you to walk through that process. The really another important aspect of Section 3 is it continues to pay it forward. So any contractor unrelated to the prime contractor, when those subcontractors and vendors have a contract of $100,000 in excess, as it falls within the construction, rehab, and or public construction, they also are looking for Section 3 businesses. So it's very important not only that you plug in, take a moment to obtain that Section 3 certification so you can be a part of these amazing opportunities and gain preference on these contracts. The Section 3 program, that is the link to sign in. And this is the link before you on the checklist to ensure that you have and provide the necessary documents that are needed. And all that information is found on our website. So oftentimes we know when we're talking about construction, you're looking at, is it just construction, or many companies aren't in the construction space. So fortunately, in the Section 3 opportunities that we're looking for, it expands outside of the construction space. Excuse me. Now, it does involve construction, hard costs, but equally it involves those soft cost opportunities. So those that are admins or accountants, do payroll, bookkeeping, including marketing, catering, and other aspects, photography, Section 3 is there for you. And equally, of course, it's very locked in pertaining to the construction option. So within the opportunities that we've discussed today, and there are far more than is illustrated on this presentation, on our website, there's the link to our website, but equally more funding, more economic opportunities as it speaks not only to our disaster program, including our other program areas, as the link before you is referenced by our multifamily area. Through our engagements, one aspect as we're here today is community involvement. Tisha and I are here to come and talk to your project, your just come and speak and present where you have engagements, where you are gathering, yes, on Zoom or webinar, but equally in public. We know we're slowly opening up, being very cautious, but we're here to get in front of you and provide you the necessary information and tools so that you can grow, so that you can plug in and be a part of our amazing and dynamic opportunities. I am very happy to say on 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, we held our annual Career Opportunity Fair in partnership with Sir Jobs. That particular event assisted 525 job seekers. We did this on behalf of the city of Houston. So we're here standing and very committed to ensuring that we can build a more equitable city for individuals, for businesses, as well as our community as a whole. As I prepare to conclude my presentation, we are a conduit, we are your advocates, and we're your mentors to ensure that you can grow and excel, and to make sure that equity and inclusion is a part of what we bring to the table as we incubate our businesses and our communities as a whole. Milton, thank you for including us on this important annual conversation, and we are here. Thank you.
Outstanding. I just want to thank you for so much information. There's so much going on in housing and community development, as you mentioned, the multifamily, single family. But I like also the way you kind of segued in that we love construction, of course, that's the big dollars. But then there's other opportunities, and we're going to start doing more and more of that. The professional services that you mentioned, like accounting, CPA firms, marketing companies, and of course, you know, a lot of the material supplies, some of those are construction related, but materials, but janitorial, building maintenance, pest control, and we're going to have a long list of those with some success stories, because we've been having successes in those areas. So thank you again for kind of bringing that out. I think that was is very timely. We're working to help everybody. We've got an array of people that are on the call that do various services. With that, and kind of getting into maybe the IT, the wiring, the cabling, telecommunications component, we're fortunate today to have Lisa Kent. Lisa Kent is the director of the City of Houston IT Services Department. So that's going to be a little bit of a transition. So we're very fortunate. In fact, Lisa teaches us how to put these programs on, and as she would, of course, being the IT director. So with that, Lisa Kent.
Great, thank you, Milton. Thank you for having me today. As you mentioned, I am the City of Houston's Chief Information Officer and the Director of the Houston IT Services Department. I'm going to go through my charts really quickly to get to the meaty part that I know that most of your audience is interested in. First, I will simply refresh everyone's memories that Mayor Turner has 4 strategic priorities. They are public safety, complete communities, services and infrastructure, and sound financial management. You'll see that I also added the pandemic. So just as last year, we are continuing to have to respond and recover to pandemic-related activities. And so that's putting a tremendous focus on more technology to enable both citizens and City of Houston workers to be able to do things remotely, just like we are today. So next, I will go over briefly. My department mission is to provide solutions that serve, protect, and enlighten our citizens. Our vision is to be a catalyst for the transformation of Houston into a digital city for all. This is specifically to promote more online citizen transactions in lieu of in-person services, grow the capacity to accommodate and secure those telecommuting employees, as well as remote access for citizens, and also to bridge digital equity gaps. And so in terms of my department's strategic priorities, we roll up to Mayor Turner's vision with the priorities to improve citizen access to services. That's more mobile and digital experiences, to inspire and empower employees to have access to tools that will allow them to do those things that align strategically, optimizing government operations, and improving data-driven decision-making. And so specifically in terms of things that will enable you and your companies to do more business with the City of Houston, this is a subset of projects that my department will be working on this year. These are all solicitations, things that we are putting back out onto the marketplace to competitively bid. I'll start first with the legal document management and e-discovery. I'll talk about those together. And those are software and supporting agreements with professional services that will support our city's legal department. The next is the managed print services or multifunction printer services. That's a very large citywide agreement. All city departments participate in this, and it does have an MWBE participation goal. There are opportunities on that type of contract for things like maintenance of the devices, as well as administration and management of the tickets and associated reporting that goes along with those services. Next, we have the communications cabling services contract. This one is estimated to be put out sometime in October of this year. Following that is we are recompeting our cybersecurity consulting services agreement. Now, this is one that will probably be a multi-vendor award. We will be looking for some very specific skill sets, and I will say that traditionally it is harder for us to find qualified MWBE firms. So if you are a company that specializes in cyber, we want you to pay particular attention to this RFP. There will be an MWBE goal on this one as well, and we are anticipating that this may go out approximately September of this year. The next one is an enterprise Cisco contract. So if you are a company that is a reseller of Cisco networking and telecommunications, both hardware and software professional services, then this contract is for you. This is one that we use citywide. All departments leverage the enterprise network and telecommunication systems that my department maintains, but there are also some departments that have a few of those components within their own departmental areas. And so this is one that we expect to go on the street in January of 2022. And then finally, the service management portal contract. This is ServiceNow. So if you or your company has experience either providing the hosted subscription or SaaS services for ServiceNow or professional services, this is one you ought to pay attention to. It's supposed to go out in October of this year. Next to last, we are competing our electronic signature solution. Again, this has mostly software subscription, but some professional services associated with that, going out in December. And then finally, last on the list, the City of Houston does use cooperative purchasing extensively for technology, meaning both software subscription and licenses, hardware purchases, as well as some professional services. Those are agreements that are competed by either the state, in the case of DIR, or the federal government in terms of GSA, NASPO, and Omnia. If you are not familiar with those federal and state cooperative purchasing agreements, you ought to get to know them. They issue solicitations on behalf of a much broader audience than just City of Houston, and our strategic purchasing officer can tell you more about how those contracts work. But the important thing is if you have technology related products that you are certified to sell or services that you're certified to offer, we frequently do leverage those cooperative purchasing agreements in order to get the volume discount pricing and to streamline having to do so many separate solicitations. So that's something that if you'd like to do business with us that way, you start first with the state of Texas or the Federal General Services Administration. And that concludes my presentation in terms of what we are expecting to go on the street this year for technology.
Wow. Lisa, thank you so much. Just great information from IT, just a number of opportunities. And I know that the city is a very strong advocate for what you do. The timing is great, as you mentioned, in tying all of it to COVID-19. I really like what you were saying about the cooperatives. I think what we're going to do, Lisa, is we'll get some folks to talk a little bit more about the cooperatives. That is an outstanding component that more people need to get involved in. We had the state of Texas just a couple of months ago, and we had DIR on. And of course, Sam Houston State was talking about how they work closely with DIR and cooperatives, and University of Houston the same. So I think you really hit on something that's very, very important, and we'll work further and harder on the cooperative component. That's great. But thank you so much, Lisa. I mean, it's just outstanding information, and I can see people with their hands up. I saw a gentleman from MCA Communications, certainly looking at some of the things that you were saying and very excited about it. So great to have you as always. With that, Will Norwood is the Division Manager, Office of Business Opportunity, City of Houston Public Works Department. And of course, you heard earlier Assistant Director Lalla Morris of OBO, Office of Business Opportunity, mention Will's name. And you know, with Public Works, I mean, that's just I always think about the sidewalks and the curbs and the underground utilities and so much more. It's the infrastructure, a lot of it, for the city. So that's our solid ground, right? So with that, Will has been he's still with OBO. He used to do a lot from just the OBO side, but now moving this past couple of years to Public Works, the Public Works component. It's just been great. So he's been able to bridge the gap, and we're fortunate to have him today. So with that, Will Norwood.
So good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Will Norwood. Glad to be here. Glad that Milton found a way to make sure that we were still able to have our monthly procurement breakfasts without the food, though. So I'm looking forward to the light breakfast when we get a chance to get back together in person. But until then, this is a great platform to use to provide information on how to do business with the city. And on an annual basis, we come out and present on these opportunities. So I'm thankful to the council members that were on, and also the other departments that are sharing opportunities for our small business owners here in the greater Houston area. So on behalf of Director Haddock and our Chief Operating Officer, Eric Dargan, bring you greetings from Houston Public Works, and I'm going to go over a couple of items of how to do business with Houston Public Works. So let's get started. So what am I covering today? This brief time that I have with you, I'm going to cover department overviews, tell you a little bit about Public Works, steps to doing business with us, and then some of our current opportunities. So here are a couple of fast facts about Public Works. So for those that do not know, Public Works, we're operating 24/7 around the clock. So we have people working your average, 9 to 5, all the way into the evenings, late into the mornings, early in the morning. And we have, we maintain the infrastructure, like Milton said, for the city of Houston. So even in this virtual setting, if you live or you work in the Houston city limits, then you have been touched by Public Works even today before this virtual presentation. If you cut on your faucet, if you flushed a toilet, if you stopped at a red light, if you drove over a street, some of the bridges, stop signs, traffic signals, all these things is what Public Works maintains. And so you'll see some of the stats that we have, like we're the largest city of Houston civilian department, and we're the largest Public Works department in the country based on the different service lines and all of the things that we maintain. And I'll get into a little bit of that later. So we have approximately 4,000 employees that serve in Houston Public Works, all maintaining the city of Houston's infrastructure. And you know, our motto is creating a strong foundation for Houston to thrive. And so that's what we're continuing to work on each and every day. So we are broken up into 5 different service lines, if you will, divisions or areas. And the first one I want to talk about is capital projects. So when you think about some of the large multi-year projects that we have, or when we're doing our capital improvement programs, when we're going out to different areas and we're partnering with our council members to share the projects that are coming into their areas. This is our capital projects team. And so drainage, roadways, wastewater, and water facilities will be included in some of the opportunities that they would have. Houston Water, your drinking water, your wastewater, our new project, which is the Northeast Water Purification Plant expansion. All these things fall under Houston Water. And so, and I'm going through the different service lines because it's important. If you're looking to do business with Houston Public Works, it's good to understand the areas in which you can do business. So, so like for capital projects, if that description of the areas or the type of projects that they cover are things in your area, or you can see how you can support with your products or services, then that's the service line that you'll want to focus on when you're pursuing work. Same thing goes for Houston Water. So if the services that you provide are focused around drinking water or wastewater, then this will be the area that you will want to pursue and look for opportunities. Then we go on to the Houston Permitting Center. So if you're looking to build out, if you're looking to do some renovations, if you need plans approved, enforcing codes, permits, license issues, Houston Permitting Center covers those things. And so I know a lot of you probably have been over to the Washington Avenue location of HPC. So those are the things that they cover in their service line. Then you have what we call TDO, Transportation and Drainage Operations. And so they oversee our stormwater maintenance, streets and bridges, the traffic, signals, traffic lights, stop signs, things like that. And then also our Houston TransStar facility. And so if you're in this particular area with stormwater, any type of maintenance, ditches, things like that, then this would be the service area that you would want to focus on in pursuing opportunities with Houston Public Works. And then last, we have our customer account service line. And so the billing for water and wastewater utilities, anything dealing with meters, field operations, and answering those calls. And so you see the volume of calls that they get and that our field operators travel with maintaining the different areas. And this is for also residential and commercial. And so if this is your particular area of service, or you have products or services that will support our customer account service line, then this is where you want to pursue your opportunities. So now I want to talk about my area, and that is Houston Public Works OBO. So we are an extension of the Office of Business Opportunity, but because Houston Public Works is our largest department, we put out the most contracts. So our budget is huge. We have a team that's fully dedicated to working specifically on the MWBE program of Houston Public Works. And so we're responsible for advocating, promoting, and creating access to our projects and opportunities. especially for our small minority and women-owned businesses. And so there's a couple of things that we do to support OBO and Houston Public Works. So one of those is the plan review. So when a prime is bidding on a project and they're putting together a participation plan, if there's any challenges with meeting the goal on their participation plan, or if we see any issues, or if the service line see any issues, they share that information with us. And then we communicate with OBO to make sure that those plans are good and that they're meeting the goal based on those plans so that it can go to council to get approved. We also help the different service lines with understanding the program that Lalla earlier laid out for you earlier in the presentation about the City of Houston MWBE plan. And so we support our service lines with helping them to understand the requirements and the guidelines to implementing the plans for Houston Public Works. Project closeouts. When it's time to close out those projects, we work with the Office of Business Opportunity to make sure that those are rated, make sure that their MWBE participation as a prime contractor to get that final rating to see if they met or exceeded the goals for the particular project that they were working on. And so we work with OBO to get any documentation and to coordinate with our project managers or the primes or subcontractors if needed to help them to put that final rating on the project. We also, in this particular area, and I know Lalla mentioned this earlier about our pay or play program, and then I know also General Services spoke to that as well. So we have a pay or play program, and the Houston Public Works OBO is responsible for that to help with the insurance requirements, or if those who do not provide insurance are paying into supporting the uninsured in the greater Houston area with the pay or play program. And then lastly, we have small business initiatives like the Office of Business Opportunity. We work with the Interagency Mentor Protege program, where we partner with other government agencies in the greater Houston area. We just completed our program virtually for 2021. And so now they have partnered. We had 20 small businesses that went through our program, the instructional phase of the IMPP Interagency Mentor Protege program. And now they have partnered with their mentors, and they're meeting with them on a quarterly basis to work on best practices, help and guide them to scaling and growing their business. We also do our small contractors rotation program. And so this is a 2.0, and we have 7 contractors that are participating, where they are competing amongst themselves, going after projects and POs with Houston Public Works. Now, this is a 2-year program, so a lot of people are constantly asking about our small contractors rotation program. So we will start probably in the spring or summer of next year, looking out for an RFQ. We might be putting that out sometime mid next year for SCRP 3.0. So just be on the lookout for that and make sure that you're connected with OBO and their weekly e-blast. And so if you're not on that weekly e-blast, because that is a way that we will share the SCRP 3.0 solicitation, and also, of course, on the City of Houston's webpage. But make sure that you're getting those weekly notifications from the Office of Business Opportunity. So steps to doing business with Houston Public Works. Well, one is registration. And, I know we have Jerry Adams on, and he knows how important this is. First, just being registered as a vendor/supplier with the City of Houston. That's the way that you're going to see our solicitations on our website. You can look at the opportunities, but if you want to get the details, the requirements, how you're graded or rated based on your proposal, all that information, you would have to sign in to see those details. And so becoming a registered vendor with the City of Houston is the first thing that you want to do. So the city can have all your information, and so that you can get those notifications coming into your inbox based on the commodity codes that you associate with your vendor registration. Next, you want to become certified. If you are able to, we have virtual workshops like OBO mentioned, to get certified. The process is taking a long time with this virtual world. A lot of people have opened businesses and tried to pursue doing business with the city. And so there's a lot of applications that are coming. So the sooner the better that you get started in the application process for certification. And then respond. You want to make sure that you're communicating with the primes, you're communicating with the city. If a prime contractor reaches out to you, even if you don't have the capacity to do the work, or if it's not particularly in your wheelhouse, you want to communicate to let them know that you're interested. That's also the same thing you want to do with the city of Houston. If a department or a project manager or somebody from the city is reaching out about an opportunity, even if you don't have the capacity at this point to do the work, or you're very interested, make sure you're responding. Make sure we have the latest information, updated information to get in contact with you, and the best email address for those type of opportunities. So you'll see down there to register as a vendor, you'll go to purchasing.houstontx.gov. Also to get certified, you'll go to houstontx.gov/OBO to get that information. Now, opportunities. So these are a few of the links, web pages where you can find the opportunities for Houston Public Works. First and foremost, you have our Strategic Procurement Division web page, or Strategic Purchasing Division web page, and that is the first one. The next one will be under our contracting services. You'll see a lot of opportunities there, or how to connect to those opportunities from our Houston Public Works web page. Then Houston, we also have solicitations in Houston Business Journal. So in the classified section, you'll see notices to bid in that area. Also, not just for the city, but other municipalities as well. And then, of course, CIDCAS is where a lot of our contract opportunities are as well. I think there's 3 projects I just want to share that are currently out on the street right now. So you have the citywide asphalt overlay. That bid date is August the 12th, and we have a pre-bid coming up. So you can find that information on our in the Houston Business Journal, and also in CIDCAS as well. So the pre-bid is August 3rd, and that's the team's information to log on. The next one we have is a wastewater collection systems rehab. Bid date is August 19th, and the pre-bid was today. But not to worry, if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to that project manager, or you can still find out who was on that pre-bid, just in case you want to connect with a prime that was pursuing that opportunity. Feel free to show your interest in this particular project if you can. And then the last one is our sanitary sewer cleaning and TV inspection. Again, the pre-bid is August 4th, so there's still opportunity to attend that pre-bid, and the bid date is August 26th. And the last thing I want to show you, and you're hearing it here first, so you can share this information. We are having our 14th annual Contracts Connect. So I want you to save the date for September 30th. It will be at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Registration has not opened yet, but you are hearing it here first, so you got first access to understanding that we are having this back. We did it virtual like last year. We want to be in person. We will be encouraging people to wear their mask. I know the Delta variant is increasing and causing hesitation, but hopefully we'll be in a safe space and we'll be spread out so that you can continue to network with the primes, our government agencies, public works in general, and then other civil construction and engineering opportunities. With that, I'll end. Thank you so much. Thank you for your interest in doing business with Houston Public Works. And I'll pass it back over to Milton. Thanks.
Will, thank you so much, man. That's just so much information. And I'm honored that we got the first blast on Contracts Connect. That is a great event. The city has a number of their prime contractors there. They're always looking to do business. It's just an outstanding event. And as Will mentioned, I guess this is the 14th year. So we got history there. We got successes there. And in the end, it's about successes, making those key contacts that lead to contracts and ultimately success stories that we can tout. And one of the things, you know, I keep thinking, I always mention this, but Will mentioned it earlier, the Northeast Water Purification Plant. That's a $1.765 billion expansion out at Lake Houston. It's just it's been a wealth for us of success stories. And I won't get into it. We're sort of running a little bit long. So, but it'll be something that we'll continue to bring up. We're sort of on the backside of some of the work. But of course, they've done a fine job with Public Works out at North Houston Water. So with that, and I think we'll just mention strategic purchasing. We're fortunate today to have Jerry Adams here. And Jerry is the Chief Procurement Officer, City of Houston Strategic Purchasing Department. I mean, they buy a lot of stuff. I mean, most everything. And having Jerry is always a pleasure. It's a treasure. When we were in person, as we hope to be back in October, I can always remember every year that Jerry would come. He'd be the first person at the breakfast, and when I would come, and he'd already be there, and I'd say, Jerry, he said, yeah, man, I've been here 30 minutes, and he's just, I mean, he's full of energy, but certainly excited, always excited, and intent on what he does for strategic purchasing. It's a great department, and Jerry does a great job. We're very proud to have him here today. So with that, Jerry Adams.
Milton, thank you so much for your kind introduction. Good afternoon to all. And Milton, I might be the purchasing guy, but I'm techno challenged. So if I'm not sharing the content of my presentation, you're going to have to tell me.
We don't see it just yet, but we're waiting for it, sir. Thank you.
Nor are you likely to if I'm left to my own devices. Anyway, let me start this out. To say that the past year's been interesting and challenging would be an understatement, not just for the city operations, but for many of our great supplier partners who bring every category of goods and services we need to support our great city. This, between pricing problems and issues, material increased costs, shortages of supplies, and labor constraints, this has been an extremely challenging year for all of us. But in spite of these obstacles, we need to tell you all that the city is open for business, and we need your help to move forward with our fight for normalcy, or at least the new norm in our marketplace. Over the next 12 months, the city projects that we'll have over 691 planned projects. These are the planned projects only. In addition to these, we'll have unplanned projects. We anticipate spending over $713 million on these planned projects. SPD posts our annual procurement plan on our SPD website that was just displayed on the board. I believe Will was kind enough to share that website with you all. I encourage you to go on our SPD website, take a look at those planned procurements, take a look at the website of the bid plan as well. Take a look for opportunities for these pre-bid conferences. If you have an opportunity, you want to grow your business, you want to learn how the city operates, attend some of these pre-bid conferences. It'll give you a great opportunity to learn more about the cities and the city's business, but also it provides networking opportunities for you. You take advantage of these networking opportunities, again, to help grow your business. The other thing I wanted to share with you is that the city is going through an implementation of a new ERP, or Enterprise Resource Planning System. This is going to be, for the most part, transparent to everyone, or for all of you, except you may notice some improved efficiency in some of the procurement and finance activities. By improved efficiencies, in reduced timeliness of reporting and reduced timeliness of payment. You're going to see, we're going to be able to start accepting electronic bid submissions rather than having to make hard copies and drop them off at City Hall. We're looking very excited about this opportunity coming up this fall, that we can get these systems going, working very closely and collaborating with our HITS department, the IT department of the City of Houston, for implementing that program. Last thing I really want to bring to your attention and warn you about, basically, the City of Houston has been receiving several phishing activities from bad actors. What this is basically is you as a good supplier partner may receive an email saying that the City of Houston is looking to buy something, but we need emergency delivery. We may need quotes. We may need product to be shipped to a new location. I want everyone to be aware that most likely those are not legitimate offers of sale for the City of Houston. These could be what we call the phishing activities. The big giveaway on this is the email address. It may you may get an email from me. It's as jerry.adams@houstontx.gov.us. That's the giveaway. Check the email addresses, and also check, I haven't issued a purchase order in probably 20 years. So if you get a purchase order from me, you know there's something up. But watch out for those. If they ask for something to be delivered to a new address, be cautious of that. The city has designated delivery addresses. You should have them in your records. If it's not coming from a person that you know in the city or an address that you've dealt with before, double check that. I have heard stories of vendors who have actually shipped goods to a vendor location, or what they suspected was a City of Houston location, and it turned out that it was an empty parking lot. So just watch out for that. But the big message here today is we've got $713 million of business so far. All the details are on our City of Houston website. Again, Milton, apologize for my technology. Apparently I got overwhelmed with this and didn't have it ready. But we are ready for business. We're open in spite of things. We're going to try to get back to business as planned, as we do need to support our citizens and all of these projects that you've heard from HPW, from housing, that HITS is doing with their IT, that GSD has got some great projects going on. All of those are live, active, and we're looking forward to hopefully coming out of this the next 12 months better than the last. Milton, thank you so much. I'm pretty much wrapped.
Jerry, outstanding, as always. Lots of information, $713 million right now, and I'm sure that's probably going to grow. Guys, that's a lot of money, and that's a lot of opportunities that the city has, and that's varied, okay? So please, let's stay in touch with Jerry. We'll be getting some of those opportunities. We'll continue to funnel those to you. But great job, Jerry. Thank you so much. And we'll be talking. Next, we have Eduardo Mejia. And Eduardo is the Interim Deputy Assistant Director, Office of Business Opportunity, City of Houston Airport System. And of course, you just heard, you heard earlier from Lalla Morris. You heard from Will, who's also with OBO. So Eduardo is kind of in that same mode with OBO, but kind of overseeing the Houston airport system. We've got a lot of projects, of course. I mean, and projects are starting to develop really out at Bush, Bush International, as well as Hobby Airport, and of course Ellington, the spaceport, and all of that that's going on out there. So with that, Eduardo Mejia.
All right, thank you. Can y'all see my screen by chance? Or can y'all hear me?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, good afternoon. Again, my name is Eduardo Mejia. I'm the Interim Deputy Assistant Director here at the Houston Airport Systems Office of Business Opportunity. And so a little bit of what our office does is we do promote the utilization of disadvantaged business enterprise, DBEs, and Department of Transportation, FAA financially assisted contracts. We the utilization of minority and small business and persons with disability business enterprise and City of Houston funded contracts. Improve access to HIS contract opportunities for MWBEs, and to ensure compliance with local, state, and federal mandates. The Houston Airport Systems Office of Business Opportunity is committed to creating a level playing field on which DBEs and MWBEs can participate in an environment that removes barriers and ensures non-discrimination, and it provides the tools necessary to compete successfully within the Houston airport system. We provide contracting opportunities. We serve as an advocate for MWBEs and support policies and activities to maximize their participation in airport contracts. We assist prime contractors in identifying certified MWBEs to participate on contracts as subs and concessionaires. And we educate MWBEs on how to access the different opportunities here at the airport system. So again, just a little more here is we do monitor the utilization on contracts with specific participation goals. We do ensure that wage standards are met on all construction projects with federal and city funding. We do host small business and minority forums for networking, and we provide information and referral services to different MWBEs. A last thing here that we do is that we recently started within the last year is we actually do in-house certification now here for DBEs and ACDBEs that are wanting to participate on airport projects. So the application still does go downtown through the Office of Business Opportunity. However, the DBEs and the ACDBEs are funneled up here to the certification officers here with the with the Houston Airport System. So just a little bit, actually, I did not have this on this slide here. However, we do have an industry day planned for August 5th, next week. Actually, that's next week, August 5th at 9 a.m. It is virtual. And so it is on the Fly to Houston webpage that's listed on this page. So when you go to this webpage there, one, you'll be able to see all the different opportunities that are listed with the City of Houston, all the different contracts that are currently out for bid or in the process of being bid, as well as, again, you will see the link to where you can find the industry day. So the industry day will show you, again, it'll give you the link to where you can register, and you will receive an email with the link to where the presentation will be held. And then at the second one there, the City of Houston opportunities, that is going to be for all your City of Houston different opportunities that are available. So if you have any questions, feel free, reach out to our office. The phone number listed there is my phone number. I'll be more than happy to assist you with anything that you may have, help you out any which way you can, try to get your foot in the door with the Houston Airport System, and just answer any and all questions that you may have. So that's kind of what I have there. Milton?
All right, Eduardo, I want to thank you, man, so much for this. This is just outstanding. We've got a lot of work at the airport system, and I would certainly recommend, guys, all of you to register for Industry Day. That is a lot of information, a lot of opportunities, as I mentioned, at all three of the airports, Houston airports. It's just a lot starting to develop. And just a little bit, you'll be hearing one of the general contractors. So what we like to do is bring not only the departments, but wherever possible, those general contractors that are on the ground looking for capable MWDBEs. So in just a bit, you'll hear from a couple of contractors in that same vein. But right now, we're very excited to have Alyce Coffey. And of course, Alyce is the Community Outreach Manager, City of Houston Solid Waste Management Department. So we're very, we hear a lot from waste and waste management. That's a private sector company type. But we're fortunate to have Alyce here to kind of certainly designate. I mean, solid waste has been here with us for many, many, many years, and very excited about having Alyce. So Alyce, tell us more about solid waste.
Thank you, Milton, and good morning and welcome to everyone. Well, good afternoon. The Solid Waste Management Department provides services to residences. We only service businesses if they happen to be adjacent to a route, and they can only have a maximum of 3 carts when it comes to garbage service or recycling services. We provide garbage collection service every day during the week. We provide yard waste services as well. Our yard waste is like grass clippings, and those clippings are sent to a company that creates mulch that is sold in stores like Lowe's and Home Depot. We provide what is called junk waste and tree waste services once a month. In your even numbered months, we collect what is junk waste. That's like broken furniture, an old couch, refrigerator, stove, those kinds of things in your even numbered months. And in the odd numbered months, we collect tree waste. Those are branches and limbs, not furniture, and not processed wood of any kind. We do have a maximum limit of 8 cubic yards for junk waste or tree waste on your service day. We operate 6 neighborhood depositories, and a neighborhood depository is a location where you can bring your junk waste or your tree waste and dispose of it. It is a free service. You can also bring all your recyclable items, your paper, your plastic, your cans, your aluminum, used motor oil, concrete, as well as car tires. We have 3 locations for recycling outside of our depositories. We have one at West Park. We have drop off at Ellington Field and also Kingwood. The West Park facility is a drive-through. You do not have to get out of your car to have your items recycled. You can also bring small electronics to West Park, and you can also bring small electronics to our 2 environmental service centers. We have one in the southwest part of town and one on the north side of town. The environmental service centers will also accept things like phones, cell phones, and VCRs and scanners, batteries, fuel, paint, antifreeze, and other household products. We have a location called the Reuse Warehouse. This is a location where construction debris has been donated. Lumber, furniture, doors, windows, doorknobs, light fixtures, tile, brick. Those construction materials are given free to registered nonprofit organizations, and it is located on the north side of Houston. There are 2 things that most people do not know that we do. One is that we collect dead animals, small and large, on city streets, also from city residences. There's no charge unless it is a large animal like a cow or a horse, and then there is a fee for that service. Another thing that most people don't know about is that we have an Adopt a Container program. This is where a neighborhood can request, free of charge, a dumpster for a neighborhood cleanup or beautification program or a garden program. Those are the services that we provide. If you have other questions or want to know more about our services, we are on the City of Houston website or www.houstonsolidwaste.org. And I thank you for allowing me. Oh, I forgot one more thing. We do have contracts with we do have contracts where we need minority participation. We have 6 pre-positioned contracts for storm debris collection. We have storm debris collection and monitoring and collection of household hazardous waste. Those contracts are under the Office of Management and Budget that you've heard from today and GSD. So you do have to register, you do have to become certified in order to work with those pre-positioned contractors to collect storm debris in the case we have a major storm or a hurricane. Thank you for your time.
Alyce, thank you so much for the information and of course clarifying some of the things that you guys do. So very important. You know, of course, we're in hurricane season. Just last month, our program was emergency preparedness, planning and preparing for a disaster. So very important to let us know. I know you have about 5 or 6 contracts, I think you mentioned. One of the things that we do, as I just mentioned earlier, is we try to bring as well a general contractor, somebody that's on the ground, physically looking for capable minority firms. Pretty much as Alyce mentioned, she's got contracts there. But those people, because it's City of Houston, they're looking for certified minority firms, certified with the OBO that you heard from with Lalla's office, but as well, those that have capacity. I actually attended a meeting just, I guess, about 2 weeks ago with one of those firms that Alyce mentioned. The firm was DRC. So they're involved in disaster relief, and the president was there, John Sullivan, president of DRC. I visited with him, joined that he area of disaster relief. So with that, I'd like to bring on John Sullivan, President, DRC. John?
Mr. Thibodeau, thank you very much for having me on the call. I hope you can hear me fine. Anyway, I know that time is running over what was scheduled, so I'll try to move pretty quickly. But yes, we are one of the pre-event contractors with the City of Houston. We do disaster cleanup. We also assist the City of Houston on times where they need some extra trucks to help out during heavy storm debris or flood debris, or the winter storm. Winter Storm Uri was a good example. It produced a lot of extra vegetative debris, and we went out and helped the City of Houston catch up. So we did have a presentation about 2 weeks ago. We originally expected to have 40 people there. We ended up having 82, and quite a bit more than we expected, which was wonderful. It showed us just how many local contractors really want to get involved. From there, we have sent out subcontractor packets that is linked with on this website as well, where you can go and fill in. We've received a whole bunch of them from our meeting 2 weeks ago. Really, our success of that meeting was so good. I think we really probably need to have one here in the next couple of months to reach those that we didn't already meet. But anyway, what we are looking for storm debris pickup are, contractors that are typically doing, landscaping, civil and site work, general construction things. And what we'd like to do is try to get them tied up with us before the storm happens, because when a disaster does happen, we really don't have a lot of extra time to be bringing on and training new contractors. So what we try to do is get master service agreements, basically contracts in place pre-event. That way we have the insurance, we already know each other, we know the capabilities, we know what type of equipment the contractors have, and we can quickly go through our Rolodex of who's available, and we can turn them on to work right away. We are in the process. Actually, one of my colleagues is talking with a group of guys that have been working for us as a subcontractor for a while. They are registered with the City of Houston's program, but we are about to sign them up to our first real mentor protege program, which we're very excited about. Good group of guys that have worked with us for a while, and they're committed to making it happen, and so are we. So, at any rate, Mr. Thibodeau has put up our information. Please reach out to us. We have a place where you can go link to our website and fill out your capabilities. It allows us to then get you into our system. We can then reach out to you and set up a time to meet and go through the explanation of how we do work post the storm. And hopefully, if we find some good contractors here in Houston, which we are from here anyways, but if we find some good local subcontractors from Houston that are willing to go to Florida with us, go to Louisiana, go to Mississippi, Alabama, or North Carolina, or wherever, we hope to bring those guys with us. So with that, I'll pass it back to you. Thank you very much for your time.
John, thank you so much for all of the information and joining us on such short notice. And that tells me that's an indication of your commitment. And of course, as we mentioned here, so timely with it being hurricane season all the way really through November. The need, as the city has identified, the need to respond in an in-kind manner, of course, as you did during the winter storm. And of course, you know, as we have events like Hurricane Harvey, unfortunately, we've got to be able to respond quickly. Just last month, we had CenterPoint Energy on. We're going to have them back. But in the end, I know that you've had success stories. I like that. I've just spoken to James Donato. I know Donato is minority-owned business, the Donato Group. I know he's working closely with you guys and helping identify capable MWBEs. So I thank you for everything that you do. I'm going to expect to have you with us over the next couple of months, and certainly any opportunities that come available. And I always say, unfortunately, especially as it relates to a disaster, but at least we know we have somebody that's on the ground that is looking to bring on and to be inclusive as it relates to the community. So thanks so much, John, for everything that you do, and we'll stay in touch, okay? And with that, I'm going to circle back to the airport because we heard from Eduardo Mejia, but there's a company that I'm familiar with that's doing some work out at Bush, and that's the Federal Inspection Building, FIS building. That's a $374 million project, guys, and we've been showing that on our newsletter, on our announcements for a number of months. We've had success stories with Hensel Phelps. I've worked with Hensel Phelps for, I don't want to date myself too much, but for well over 20 years. We used to do work with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and certainly with the MD Anderson Cancer Center, the emergency building there. So with that, we have Andre Cooper with us to tell us a few projects. I know you have some upcoming bid packages out at FIS. So Andre, tell us a little bit more about what's going on out there.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen for a second. All right, hopefully everyone can see this. This is a great project that we have here at Houston Airport System, Intercontinental Airport. This is the Federal Inspection Services Renovation Expansion Project. One of the biggest things is that this project has been going on for a while. Right now, with our current stance on the project, yes, like Milton said, it's roughly about $375 million. Now the estimates and new projects that have been going on and different adds to the project, we're looking in the neighborhood of now roughly about $425 million. A couple packages that are currently in progress. that we do have is package 10A, which we actually started buying out, which is the early package for the ICP. Package 11, which is the detention pond, and package 12, which is the C garage. So we have these packages have already been issued. We're actually in the buyout process currently, but the biggest chunk of the work is coming in the next few months, and that is package 10. So that is the big enchilada. That's everything that we have been waiting for to get purchased. We've been waiting for to get all the MWSBE participation, to give opportunities out there. And we want you guys to truly bid the work. I was talking with Milton a few weeks ago about, timeliness and being confident in submitting bids. We deal with a lot of, high, large contractors and subcontractors. However, there's a need for more small business type contractors. We need you guys, we need your support. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes, mostly, a lot of people, they get discouraged from bidding on these jobs, and a large chunk of the dollars actually don't even get incorporated in a job because we don't have bidders. You'll be surprised that these jobs need more subcontractors to bid on it and bid the work. Even under certain subcontractors, you can have definitely talk to different subcontractors such as the Kilgores and the Tag Electrics and things like that to get to help the job as a whole. So the current bid package, like I said, this is the next part that we're going to bid in September, and it consists of the following bullet points that you see. So from turnkey concrete all the way to site furnishing, doors and hardware, spray fireproofing, millwork, and so forth and so on that you see on the current screen now. And we're looking for all of them. You'll be surprised. We've already been in touch with a couple large subcontractors, but we need all the participation as we can. Just for instance, the Terrazzo, we've already went and did some budget bidding for the job to see where the estimates came in at. We had three subcontractors that actually put budget bids for Terrazzo. So if there is a small, business, or if there is someone out there that is in need of work, we want you guys to bid. We want you guys to get out there and put your best effort forward. This is the other package that I was talking about. So earlier I said right now the package, the whole job is at $375 roughly. But as we are getting more jobs at the airport, they're adding more change orders to the work. And so here's another package 13 to be determined that's coming out for the Foreign Flag, CBIS, and SEBRA build out. As well as there's a small interest writing with some roadway work, some electrical, some communications, security, and the full scope we're still working out with HAS and HOK page as we discussed. So I wanted to show you a quick video of the airport job that I'm currently on, and I want to so you guys can at least imagine the magnitude of this job. So take a look. So again, you know, that's an amazing job that we're doing there at Terminal E. We just want to keep everyone in mind of the current rules and regulations that we're doing, bidder instructions. You know, for the most part, everyone is familiar with Building Connected, but we want to make sure that we are explaining to you the importance of getting your bids on time. A lot of people, you know, don't actually submit their bids on time, and it hurts us. We want you guys to make sure that you're talking to us, you're submitting them digitally, and we could definitely help you guys out for all the work that it's inclusive, all the documents, the paperwork, because we need your assistance. You know, make sure that you're reading the full proposal package, you know, for instructions. It gives you detailed instructions. The procurement team has done a great job with showing the aspects of the job, you know, where it's located, what's currently being, you know, out for bid, and the need. So again, so this is our bid contact information. You can always go to the HAS website to go get this information as well. But Les Morgan is the senior estimator. He's direct out of Austin. Of course, you know, I'm Andre Cooper, the project manager here for procurement manager, and we have Tina Curry Logan, which is another estimator that's on the job site. Again, bidders building connected instructions. You could take the link here below, and it'll take you there and show you the job. And we will definitely be excited to partner with you guys to help you guys and help this job to be very successful. And there's the website at HoustonAirport-FIS.com. It tells you all about the job. It tells you all about the packages. It tells you when they bid, media, compliance updates, all our MWSBE requirements, outreach and marketing. It tells you all that. It's self-explanatory, not hard to find, but we encourage you to go after this project. September is right around the corner. Don't wait until 2 weeks before. Start actively calling, contacting me, contacting the different people that were on the flyer, and start getting to know us. We really want to get to know you guys. We expect you guys to come out in numbers, so we could definitely give you a piece of this enormous job. And that's all I have, Milton.
Wow, Andre, thank you so much. This is a major project that we have at Bush, and maybe the biggest that we have, as I mentioned, $374 million. They're pushing, I think the percentage goal, 20%, 15% MBE, 5% woman-owned business. So very excited about this project, and we've had some successes already, and we're certainly looking for a lot more in these upcoming bid packages. So please stay with Andre. Roman Rios also has been on the program before, several occasions, and they're always pushing and promoting and asking for participation. So guys, keep up the push, and we'll keep trying to supply you with capable MWBEs. Okay.
Thank you.
With that, guys, just briefly, I know we've gone lots of information, which is good, which is great. It's a little bit long, but I do want to mention again and thank John Sullivan with DRC. Those forms I sent to you. He has a number of vendor profiles, general insurance, and capability forms. You should have those forms, and I'll be sending those forms out again to you so that you can complete them and get them back to him, because, you know, unfortunately, you just never know when something can come up, an unfortunate event. And so we have to be prepared. That's what this whole emergency preparedness, being prepared, is about. And we want them to know that we have the capacity to respond in kind should there be an emergency situation. Okay, so let's get those forms to John Sullivan and his team. Also, HMSDC, Houston Minority Supply Development Council, is a nonprofit organization that works very closely with major corporations. You know, I mentioned CenterPoint Energy, ExxonMobil, Shell, Chevron, those private sector companies that's looking to do business in the minority business community. And of course, HMSDC, the Houston Minority Supply Development Council, has a certification program. I recommend that all of us get involved. As you want to do business in the private sector, we need to get involved with HMSDC. They do have, as you guys, many of you remember, their expos, great expos of the past. I think some of the biggest expos in the state of Texas. I think this one coming up is going to be virtual. I did send you some information on that, and you'll be getting more information as we get closer to their events, which will occur, I think it's September 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. I think on the 12th, I think it is, or 13th, is their golf tournament. And of course, the 14th, 15th, 16th is the actual expo. It's mostly virtual, but there is, I think, a reception that is a live event. I know they'll be getting more information to me, and we plan to have them on the next meeting, our next forum, which I think is September 24th. I'm sorry, August 24th, August 27th. So we'll have them on for that next event to talk about Expo. So that's Expo 2021. We're really excited about HMSDC coming back with that event. With that, as you see again on the screen, Commissioner Rodney Ellis's Precinct 1. They're always pushing opportunities. Precinct 1 is a large precinct that incorporates the Astrodome, the NRG complex, all 4 buildings there. It goes into Rice University, down Main, and all of the work that we're doing in the IT corridors, what I'm calling it now, in the museum district. But it's just a vast precinct with a lot of opportunities. And you can see some of those right now on the screen: the concrete and irrigation, electrical utilities. And Johnson is one of the companies that is contracted to help identify and qualify capable MBEs. And here's the thing about it now: Harris County now has a program. I mean, we fought for many years to have an MBE, MWBE program. And of course, now they have one as of just about 4 or 5 months ago. So we're really excited about that. Harris County is the 3rd largest county in the United States, and with just a diverse set of opportunities. So stay tuned. We just had Harris County on back in May. You'll hear from them again. They have a new diversity coordinator, Pamela Chan. She's come with a lot of excitement and enthusiasm. So let's stay in tune with Harris County. Next. Certainly Metro has a ton of opportunities. As always, you always hear from Metro University, their Metro Bonfire and Hub program. You can see a list of their solicitations for the bonfire. Those are, one of them has a closing date, I guess, of today, July 27th. So it just tells you, you got to stay in tune with these because they're coming July 28th. You see some of those opportunities, August 13th, but a lot of solid opportunities: disaster recovery, backup fuel, traffic markings. So just a number of things that Metro is always doing. I mean, they're on it. I just got that information from Sharonda Murray. Many of you know Sharonda. That group is a fine group. Alex Sandoval, Otis Johnson, the whole group continues to bring opportunities. Manhattan Construction, one of our top GCs in the area, in the state, maybe in the country as far as I'm concerned, has listed a few of their opportunities: the Bay Area Boulevard Solution Center, Cy-Fair Independent School District Transportation, a CMAR, Construction Manager at Risk work negotiated. So those are some of the projects. That's a Harris County. You know, we talked about Harris County. That's a Harris County project that you see there listed. Okay. In addition, I just sent out some information. Again, Manhattan has a number of projects in Dallas, in the Dallas area. So you should be able to click on that button and be able to review those projects from the Dallas area. You should have that as well. It's a click button for that. Skanska, another one of our top GCs. In fact, Skanska in Manhattan actually built NRG, the football stadium, back in 2004 is when we opened up. So Skanska, Manhattan, and Beers built that facility. But Skanska has the Harris County Toll Road. You see a list of some of their key folks there. Tiffany McCullough, diversity coordinator for Skanska. And just at the bottom, there's a button there, and I think they're underway. They're moving forward on 1550 on the green, and you'll see a button there to access 1550 on the green. That's Discovery Green. A lot of work still going on out of Discovery Green. Hensel Phelps, I won't go into that much. We just heard from Andre, and he's talking about upcoming bid packages. Some of the bid packages were delayed, but I think he just did a great job of bringing us up to date on the FIS Federal Inspection Building. McCarthy is a great firm, another great GC. Their president, Jim Stevens, I actually went out to a meeting and he mentioned that he was going to do 15% regionally for the Houston region, 15% minority participation on every job that they have, whether it's a private sector job or not. If it's a city job, certainly there's a push to bring participation. But if it's private sector, like they do a lot of work in the museum district. They just finished the Holocaust Museum in the museum district. They did a couple of $100 million renovation with the Museum of Fine Arts. So some of those projects are private, but they have committed to doing business in the community. And I know some of our folks that have gotten contracts from them in the private sector. So we thank them. You see a couple of projects that they're still working on. That Ishmaeli Center is one that they're really bearing into in Port Arthur. They're working with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. There's the Port of Port Arthur. They do a lot of work at Port Houston. So, I mean, their work is varied. They've done a lot of work. We mentioned that the Northeast Water Purification Plant, we've had a lot of successes there. So McCarthy, again, a strong company and advocate for MBE participation. Just quickly highlighting some small businesses. Just last month, you heard from Impact Strategic Consulting. They get involved in a lot of mitigation and recovery management work. They're a great firm. In fact, I just spoke to them just this morning. So they're certainly always looking for opportunities in emergency response. You see COVID-19 on their screen. Next. This group, East Houston Hospital and Clinics, Advanced Diagnostics, you see Ruben Shaw and his phone number. They have at least 3 different locations. They're doing testing, COVID testing. You see 24/7. I think they're administering the vaccines as well. They have a meeting, and we need to get in tune. They have meetings once a month. It's, I think, one coming up this Thursday, and it's out I-10. I'll try to get you some information on that meeting, but I think it's from 5 to 6:30. It's a great networking and opportunities to meet people and do some business. So it's a great firm. Next. National Urban Construction. They do a lot of work. They're doing work, did a lot of cleanup work from COVID to prepare Prairie View. I think they did some 13 buildings there at Prairie View cleanup and fogging and spraying, as well as the same for the University of Houston off-campus housing. They do a lot of interior build out, so flooring, ceiling, painting, drywall, acoustical ceilings, they do it all. So it's a great firm, National Urban Construction. Navarro Insurance Group, I always say Sam Pineda, his name's at the bottom. Sam is, I call him an icon because he's always, everywhere you go, you see Sam, and Navarro has been in existence now, I don't know, maybe 20, 25 years, providing medical insurance, life, disability, dental, vision, long-term care, as you see, 401k, travel, accident, and other voluntary products. Sam has just done a great job in promoting, and Demetrius, a great job in promoting the great work that Navarro Insurance has done over the years. Gosh, Sunshine Personnel, Maribel again, another great person in the community. She has her own events, networking, but of course providing labor, and you see industrial, hospitality, maintenance, so office professionals. She does quite a bit of everything, and when it comes to supplying labor, staffing. So, you know, we really appreciate the great work that Maribel Rodriguez has done at Sunshine Personnel. Keep up that work, Maribel. And of course, you heard from Abel and NAMAC earlier. So Abel, as mentioned, has an event coming up on Thursday. I think it's from 5:30 to 8 at Donaraki. That's in Gulfgate. It's a neat networking event. You know, I try to go as much as I can. It's just really, really nice. A lot of people. Labor Now is one. It's a staffing company as well, but they specialize in disaster relief. So, and you can see some of the areas there: mold removal, hazmat, biohazard, water loss, fire and smoke. We've got to introduce them, of course, to DRC, but they're a great firm in MBE as well. So we're looking for great things from them. And of course, you know, we always close with a tip of the month that always comes of late from the Red Cross. And it talks about COVID preparedness. You know, we're still in COVID. It's not done yet. We're not done yet. We've got variants out here that are as strong as what we've ever seen. So we've got to stay safe, protect ourselves, but certainly in protecting ourselves, we're protecting everyone around us, and that's important too. So that's kind of the message that we're getting from the Red Cross, as well as, you know, hurricane preparedness. There's another dial in, click button for emergency preparedness and preparing for a hurricane and a disaster. So we thank the Red Cross. They just participated just last month in our emergency preparedness workshop. So thank you for all their information. And guys, I want to thank everybody who participated. I know it was a lot of information, but just great information. I mean, and that's the essence of Houston, the city of Houston, and Houston in general. There's a lot going on. We're coming back. So opportunities abound in this great city. I mean, it's one of the greatest cities. I don't care where I go in Houston, people say, Milton, how are you guys doing it in Houston? It's because the great people that you heard from today, all the people from the city, the council members, everybody impassioned to do business in the community, such a diverse community, and everybody's working together. I've never seen it anywhere else in the country as we do it. We're the best as far as I'm concerned, and it helps not only the minority business community, but certainly the community at large. So guys, we appreciate everything you do, everybody that spoke, outstanding job, and everybody that attended, we thank you. You'll be hearing from us. We've got, you know, another program. Again, it's a monthly event, so you'll be hearing from us for our next event in August. Thank you so much, and thanks to MCA. MCA is just a great, when it comes to IT, technology. I see Aaron and Brock, they've got thumbs up. We kept fighting. We had a little issue there in the beginning to start, so we're running a little bit long, but you know, we rebounded, you know, and that's Houston. That's the essence of Houston. That's the essence of everybody is if you start slow, you finish strong, right? You start slow, you finish strong. So we thank you all and we'll see you next month. Stay safe. We need all of you. Take care.